For now then, off the gates we go here for 450 heat number 1 here in Foxborough for round 13 of the ARL EU SX. And Linz comes in the inside line there with the whole shot on the Husqvarna. A fantastic start. Unfortunately, he loses the start though, and Hakon takes the racing lead just ahead of Dorian Marriott, and then it's Jake, on Joku, on the Prestige KTM. Apparently I just can't read here tonight, but there you go. Coming around the corner into the starting of the first lap now. Then on the Ace Moto KTM leading the pack with a pretty healthy 2-second gap to the P2 position. We'll have a little sit here as we wait for the rest of the field to come on through. Looks like Lynn's managed to try and recover at least back up to P5 according to that timing gate. We'll see if he's still there when we get back onto it. For now though, over to the TV camera as we go back up with the racing leader. We've got to check in on this gap. Looks like he's still staying upright. Off to a fantastic start then indeed for Hakon Joku here, looking to close in on that Prestige KTM. Got to try and make something work here. We've got Linz down the inside. This is the fight for P3 here on the track at the moment. Or the P2, sorry, on the track at the moment. Linz then makes that position work. Joku down to P3, but it looks like Dill Pickle then on the MXBMR KTM finds his way through as well, up and onto the podium for the moment. Don't forget, it's just the top 9 make their way through into the main event here from the heats. The rest go on into the LCQ race. Just a short few minutes of dashing there to try and score the top 4 to get themselves up into the main. So the heat is the preferential way in. Lynn's having a fantastic start there, just 4.7 seconds off the leader. Hakon though, look at this guy go through the whoops, absolutely storming. There is no stopping him here tonight on the Ace Moto KTM. He's looking very, very confident, and if this continues, he's looking like he might be in a very, very good situation towards the end of the evening. Looks like Tyler J not in this lobby with us. Not to worry though. Be interesting to see how he stacks up then in the other heat. For now though, it looks like Dill Pickle's made his way into Linz by the looks of things. Not sure exactly what happened there between the two riders, but an unfortunate situation for both as Joku and Dorian take the P2 and 3 position away from them. Dorian then holding P2. Joku trying to take it away, gets it done. Linz then snatches it away from both of them with a big old send there on the Husqvarna. A tiny case through the rhythm section, but keeps it tidy. Across the finish line we come, maintaining the P2 position, but look at that, a 12.7 second gap to Hakon here. Of course, that's what these incidents are going to get you at the end of the day. The more crashes you have, the slower your race is going to be. Sounds like common sense, but it's all about consistency, especially here in Supercross. Ken's down the inside of Dorian, gets it done. A nice cheeky move down the inside there. Here's Moto KTM then carrying good consistent pace there through the whoops. It looks like Dill Pickle's ever so slightly faster through that particular section. Unfortunate crash there for who was it? I think it was Joku. It was unfortunate indeed. Not to worry then. Checking out with the rest of the field. We'll have a little look down in the P9 and 10 transfer positions. We've got Pat Sheehan here, currently holding that position according to the timing gate. We'll see how that updates over the course of the next lap or so. Looks like Hawkey's just up in front. So in fact, it's Hawkey P10 and Jez is currently holding on to the P9 position here on the Privateer KTM. So my apologies there, but we stand corrected. Jez then looking like he may be making it up into the next round. Let's see if he can pull it off though and hold on for that for the next 2.5 minutes or so. And a little peek up with Dill Pickle and Joku. This is the battle for P3 once again. That's the podium position then up here in the first heat between the MXBMR bike and the Prestige KTM just behind. So Dill Pickle's going to hold it temporarily. Let's see if he can continue to hold it for the rest of the race. So still 2 minutes on the clock, so anyone's guess as to what can happen throughout the rest of the race. It looks like Linz has managed to open up a good gap though between himself and Dill Pickle, now getting into a good rhythm. An unfortunate bit of the commentator's curse there, strikes once more just to punish him apparently. I'm not entirely sure why, but there you go. P2 though still seems to be reasonably secure. Of course, any more crashes like that and it could be going out the window pretty quickly. Hakon though, now with a 16-second gap, going to be very, very comfortable to be seeing that in the top left. Very, very comfortable indeed. We'll see if he can keep up that pace throughout the rest of the evening. Back down. Let's have a little look on with the transfer positions once again. It is around here. What's going on? If Hawkey is P8, then Ken's is P9 here on the Ace Moto KTM. Looking like he's going to try and rerun the good laps that he had earlier and ignore the bad ones. Let's see if he can pull it off then here on the Ace Moto KTM. Line through the whoops. Of course, ideally we want to get a little bit higher than P9 just to really secure that transfer position. Being right on the cusp is a dangerous place to be. as such, he's putting some good pressure here onto the back of the Prestige bike just in front. That's Pump there on the KTM. It looks like Ken's has got past him due to a technicality there. It looks like Pump's potentially got a bit of a penalty that he's having to work through, which is going to cost him in the long run. Hopefully it doesn't cost him his position in the main event, though. We shall see, we shall see. For now, though, just 30 seconds on the clock before our final couple of laps here for the first 450 heat. Checking in with the 250 LCQ afterwards, of course, don't forget. So we'll be having a nice little bit of racing still to go here tonight. Ken's running into fire, kids. He's got some nice stuff on this week. A bit of a wibble wobble there for the bike in front. I think, who was that? Was it Dorian? It wasn't. I have no idea who that was. May have been someone else that we just weren't anticipating. Has a bit of a collision with Jez, but gets up in front. That's a P6 position secure then, at least for the moment, as we come into the final couple of laps. Just 1.5 remaining then, presuming the Hakon's halfway through his lap. Just seems like he is. Looking pretty good then. Looking pretty good. A couple of riders struggling here pretty early on though. But we shall see if they can pull it through into the LCQ and of course into the main event a little later on tonight. For now though, Hakon is the man with a 16.9 second gap here at the top of the 450 Heat 1. Great, to 16.6 there as we come on to the final lap here tonight. We're going to stay with the leader for the final lap and then transfer down to the transfer spots as we come through and across the line. For now though, Hakon shows us a line here on the 450s. What's it got to take to be in the lead? Around the outside we go. Nice triple over the section there. No wheel tap necessary. Skimming our way through the whoops as predicted. Table on, table off, into the corner we go. Nice tight scrub over here. Keeping himself nice and dialed in there through the sound section as well. Not taking any major risks. Up and onto the table we go. A huge line there. Pulls his way through the rest of the rhythm section really nicely too. You can see the pace he picks up with onto the back of Hawkey here. Nice triple in. Triple out, of course, if we can stretch it. Unfortunately, we just get a bit of a case there. It doesn't quite pull out of the bag here. And through the inside line. That's a lap with Hakon, and it's P1 here in Foxborough. We've got Linz closing in for P2, a very, very close behind on the FXR Husqvarna. Can the FXR G Fuel rider find his way through and keep it nice and secure? It looks like he will do. A nice, comfortable 10-second gap there behind to the next bike. Across the line we come then for P2 here in the heat. Lovely stuff indeed. Dill Pickle, Treble 3MX, and Vadim. Vadim in Treble 3 having a bit of a time. They're, of course, fighting for position. Dill Pickle here, though, just hoping to get his podium secure. And across the line he comes then on the MXBMR KTM. Lovely stuff indeed. They'll be checking in then with the rest of the transfer positions. You've got Yoku holding on for P4. He's going to cross that line and take the position. Kenzen will secure P5 on the Ace Moto KTM and just ahead of Dorian. Dorian will take P6. A nice finish there. Jez will move up into the main event as well here with a P7 finish on the Privateer KTM. P8 for Pompikasu. And it looks like Hawkey will take the P9 position. Euros has already finished there with a lap down. So there is your top 9 making their way through. Lovely, lovely stuff indeed then. So we have Hakon in that top spot, Linz for P2 and Dill Pickle for P3 in the heat. With the first bike cut off is Euros there on the Bird Moto. Husqvarna, an unfortunate end to his night, but of course there is still the LCQ to try and redeem himself and get up into that main. Of course, just the top 4 making it through. And of course, we are going to be watching the 250 main, or the 250 LCQ rather, to see what's going on there for now though. Anyways, enough about that. We've got some SX of our own to deal with. What are we going to do? Down go the gates. Looks like a tough start there for a couple of bikes in the background, missing the opportunity for the whole shot. Here comes Woodland though, around the outside line. Can he get it secured? Yes, he does. Woodland then on the Vertex KTM. A great start for himself, but it's Jay Talent on the Oblivion TM who takes the racing lead here in the LCQ. Can he get the TM working? Let's see if he can hold it off for the rest of the race. Of course, it's just the top 4 that make it through from an LCQ event into the main. Hold on a second. Did he just do a front flip mid-main? Or mid-LCQ? I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Give us a moment. Give us a moment. I've got to just deal with this for a second. He did a front flip. Oh, I hit the back of the other bike. That's hilarious. Anyways, great then. Fantastic stuff. Jay Talent, though, leads the race with a 2.7 second gap there to Woodland on the Vertex KTM that pulled the whole shot. Certainly not off to a bad start at all, though, for the Vertex 110 rider. We've got Ollie Roy just behind, currently on the Husqvarna, of course. Let's see if he can keep it moving. Jay Talon has to get it, He'll keep moving, I'm sure he'll keep moving. He's got 2.2 to the field. We've got Hagrid here on the Oblivion Suzuki, currently holding on for the P4 position. A little bit of a case there, though, for the Suzuki rider. He's going to have to get back up into the rhythm here before the other guys catch up. We've got Abru snapping on his heels there for the position, trying to get it past, but the Oblivion Suzuki is holding off pretty nicely. A few cases there as we come through the rhythm section. But it is a particularly difficult section there to build up the speed, especially if you struggled on the way into the section. Abru there, gets it nice and over the finish line. Sounds one of the Germans, you know him, IRL? Hell yeah. He seems to be having a good night here in the LCQ at least. Hopefully his main goes nice and smoothly too. Dante there on the ETO Husqvarna. Wow. Okay, brain. That's a KTM. We're just going to run away. We've got Woodland now closing in for the P1 position, just 1.2 seconds from the racing leader, the Oblivion TM then, looking to try and get on the defensive now and try and re-secure his lines. It looks like Woodland, though, just greasing his way through that rhythm section behind the Oblivion bike. Can the Vertex KTM get his way through here in the next lap or so? Coming around the finish line to find out. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to happen just yet. As Jay Talon gets through the corner nicely, and Woodland doesn't quite manage the same. Oliver then still holding on for the P3 position here for the ZDC team. Definitely looking like he's keeping himself reasonably solid here on the Husqvarna. Do you think the West Coast EU is better than East Coast EU? I don't know. It's a tough one to call, really. They both put up some pretty good racing, to be fair. And without Aqua stepping away, that's kind of spice that side of things up a little bit more as well, hopefully. In the West, I think. I think the East is slightly faster on average. I might be wrong about that. I honestly can't remember. My brain's a bit of a sieve at the moment. Yeah, like the skill level, definitely not the same, Tyler, but it's not necessarily the skill level I'm on about. It's just like the quality of the racing is very similar, you know? But yeah, Aqua Steady is great anyway. He may come back for later races in the season, who knows? But we shall see, But, like I say, that should spice the racing back up, because then you don't have someone gapping the field by ridiculous amounts. You know? Like, the skill level is almost irrelevant when it comes to racing. It's all about just how close the top and the last positions are, really. As long as you can keep them as tight as possible, the racing will always be nice and intense. Doesn't necessarily have to be skillful to be exciting, you know? Woodland here, keeping nice and smooth then on the Vertex KTM, holding on for the for the P2 position here at the moment. He's got a big old gap there between himself and the Oblivion TM. Jay Talon then takes us through, I believe, the penultimate lap now. And keeping steady for the rest of the motor, I'm sure. He's got 7.9 seconds there to Woodland, so he should be sitting quite pretty. For now, though, in the transfer position, we have Hagrid on the other Oblivion bike. He's on the Suzuki, though. The Oblivion team looking to try and mix it up by the looks of things. Neither of them having the KTM or Husqvarna, which is always nice. We like seeing them all colour in the field. Hagrid though keeping it quite solid here for that P4 position. He's got a comfortable 6-second gap there between himself and Abru on the Fusion Racing KTM just behind. And in fact, PB's found his way through and up into the P5 position, so he could potentially start to close up to Hagrid, but it's going to take a hell of a drive. A big hefty 6 to 7 second gap there between himself and P4. That is not going to be an easy one to climb, especially not if we do stuff like that. Dante then takes advantage, as does Abru. Oh, dearie me. Broden there coming flying around the outside on the privateer Husqvarna, really trying to put the work in now on the final lap. He's looking for the P5 position, gets it secure there up the inside. What a cheeky little pass there for Broden. Coming on to our final lap now then for this pack. Of course, we've got Jay Talon. He'll be finishing up his lap here in the very, very near future. Just a few more corners left before we George makes his way up through into the main event here tonight on that Oblivion TM. Often you see a TM in these fields, and when you do, they usually do okay. And that's how Jay Talon's doing alright here tonight. He's done very, very nicely in the LCQ. Overall, okay. Lusians! What up, baby? Can I check lap times? I will always check lap times at the end of each moto. I'll try and do it in the middle of the mains, of course, but the LCQ is very, very short, so I tend not to. For now, though, Jay Talon takes P1 in the 250 LCQ. Oliroy for P2. Woodland will secure P3 ahead of Hagrid, barring any incidents. Looking smooth. Across the line we come then for P3. Hagrid on the Oblivion Husqvarna. That's not a KTM or a Husqvarna, it's a Suzuki. The Suzuki will take P4 and make it into the main event here this evening. Avery then for P5 and Broden for P6. Dante will take P7 and PB for P8 just behind there on the PFR Husqvarna. Here we go, just get around the corner. George Parker then having a little bit of a battle between himself and Switcher here in the fight for P9. It's not going to matter for the main event, but across the line first comes the AOMX bike just ahead of George, but George takes it back due to penalties on the other KTM. Returns then will secure P11 and Daily Boy for P12. But no, a nice race overall here for the LCQ. A decently stretched field though, and we didn't have too much contention for that transfer position, thankfully. Jay Talon then in the top spot, Oliroy, Woodland and Hagrid making their way through into the main event here tonight. We're going to have a little look at the lap times for the LCQ crowd. We got a 56.0 there for Broden and a 57 for Jay Talon. We know that Broden was moving, he just struggled a lot with consistency here tonight, and unfortunately I don't think he quite made it in. We're getting ready at this beautiful track once again, this time for the 250 main event, a little bit longer this time of course. On the gates though. Can you tell him to restart? What do you mean? Gorb, what have you done? What have you done? At me by an aerial. See if you can get a restart. If you can't, you can't. Well, we'll see what the situation is. But for now, on the gates. Down they go, and away we go. Gorb's game crashed, unfortunately. Yeah, give Meat Pie an in aerial. And see if he'll do it for you. If you don't, you don't, you know. Neon though takes the whole shot though here on the racing start, doesn't quite manage to keep the racing lead and actually takes out Steiner as well in the process. So it's Jay Talon on the Oblivion TM with the racing lead just ahead of Logan. Logan though almost getting Pie on the F Crew. I believe that's a gas actually. It is indeed. Cloud down the inside on the Northsco KTM, making a cheeky little move then up and into the P2 position. A great start though for the majority of riders. Sorry, I'm dying. Hang on, let me have a drink. God damn, sorry. Just randomly choking. God damn. Alright. Back up, front of the field. Where are we? Jay Talon still leads. We've got Finn on the TSCZ Husqvarna and nowhere for P2. And Reaperdoc for P3 there on the RD Honda. Oh, dearie me. What is going on, boys? Cloud then versus Steiner for the new racing lead. It looks like Northsco KTM takes it by a hair. Excuse me, I've got to cough for a minute because, God damn, I drank some more and it went in the wrong hole. Alright, we're back. Cloud then leads the moto, Steiner for P2 and Baited for P3. It's a great start there for these guys. We've got Logan in the F Crew team. We've got North P4 then still in gas. Dan there not too far back, and Jay Talon after a little bit of an incident doing well in comparison to both Finn and I haven't seen Doc yet. Where did he go? There he is. Speaking of the devil, he shall appear. Great start though for the majority of the field. Cloud having a bit of a moment. The commentator's curse striking once again. We've got Steiner then on the Ace Moto KTM taking the position. He's now up into the P1 position. We've got Baited for P2, Cloud for P3 and Logan for P4. The F Crew gas though makes a move down the inside, trying to get it going. Doc has lost audio. Oh no, Jake, that is tragic. That is very, very unfortunate. Especially after being able to pull P3 there on the start. Not to worry though, we do have Cloud scrubbing his way past down there, making his way up through the field just a little bit further. Baited and Logan though battle out for the P2 position here on the track. We've got Steiner of course just up in front in the lead, just a second ahead of these guys. Really not too much of a gap there for the racing leader just yet, so he's got to get some work in. He wants to try and break away from the other two on the podium. Baited though. Seems to have found his way past the F Crew gas now, sliding this KTM on through the whoops. Getting it rail on off of the top there. Keeping it nice and tidy. Over the table we go. Just getting a bit of a hairy line through the downside there. Steiner though still leading. Off to a fantastic start here on that Ace Moto KTM and looking to try and keep it up. Let's see if he can do so throughout the rest of the evening. For now we've got Neon here, our red plate bike. Currently P7 on the field. Looking to try and close up, of course, with those podium few. I'm sure we'll see him start to get into the rhythm in a little while. We'll have a little check-in with Finn. Finn here on the TSCZ Husqvarna. Doing it quite nicely here as he tries to step his way through the field. Getting caught up in a lot of early lap traffic though, so hopefully we can see him slice up through the pack here in the very, very near future. Willand and Lipasek, of course. Willand did pretty well there in the LCQ, so nice to see him all the way up in the P11 spot. That is nice indeed. For now they're up at the front. We've got a new leader, it looks like. Baited has taken a racing lead, I believe. He has indeed, from Steiner. Dan and Steiner then merge together and collide and have all sorts of things. Pretty much everything except for a baby KTM. Logan then gets through on the gas. A lovely move for the F Crew bike. He's going to be helpful with that. Dan gets around the inside of Cloud, but not before Cloud snatches the position back there on the Normsco KTM. A nice defensive move then from Cloud, and he defends the P2 position with a 3-second gap now to the racing leader. Baited then holding the racing #1 spot. We have Cloud currently for P2. Dan's going to take it away though here through the rhythm section. The TSCZ Productions KTM makes his way through. A lovely pass indeed for Dan. Cloud's going to be a little bit angry at that, but I'm sure he's going to get straight back onto the offensive and try and snatch that position back here. First though, he has to defend a bit from Neon. Neon having a look down the inside, tries to get something to work. Looks like he might be able to get it done there on the KTM. What a cheeky little pass there for the JP Designs bike. Having a wall around on the outside of the track there. That puts Dan now, our new race leader, currently holding on the P1 position then on the TSCZ bike. We've got Neon down the inside, taking a position away from him there for the JP Designs team. Fantastic move by all accounts there from Neon. And lovely to see indeed. I'm sure we'll see Finn start to move up here a little bit, hopefully. He's got a lot of traffic to get through here though, and of course these guys are not going to be just giving him the positions. Seppi putting up a nice bit of defensive work here versus the Husqvarna. Looks like Finn just steps up and over him though. What a line indeed there on the 250. Neon though is absolutely cooking. Roughly a 2.5 there to Dan in the P2 position. And another similar gap between Dan and Logan. In fact, it looks like Baited is taking the P3 position and Dan jumps his way over the triple there. Gets his way into the P1 position, takes it away from Neon, at least for the moment. Neon straight back on the offensive now, has a look down the inside, can't quite see an opportunity yet, so he goes hard and wide to the outside, trying to maintain good momentum and gets it done there over the small table and into the wall jump we go. I'll check over his shoulder there to see if he got the move done nice and cleanly, and it looks like he did. Dan has a look down the inside, doesn't quite manage to take the opportunity. Netcode there, making it look like Neon's doing some weird shenanigans. Way up and over Baited there for the P2 spot. Now what's going on the road tonight is feeling really weird. And, anyways, we have ourselves a nice little bit of racing here. We got Baited closing in once again onto the back of the TSCZ bike, but it's going to be a tough fight there for the P2 and 3 position. Now Steiner there. Fountain, Norms and Finn, or Cloud and Finn, sorry, having a nice little battle. Cloud, of course, on the Normsco KTM, that's what confused me. Finn then makes it down the inside, and Cloud, unfortunately, running it wide enough the track there, cost him a lot of time. Finn will get through then as a result. Now, with a big old stretch over the table, almost gets it done, but it gets a little bit of a case, which costs him so much time. Baited then back up into the P2 position once again. Steiner isn't going anywhere fast. He's got an Ace Moto KTM and he's willing to use it. We're currently in the P4 position, staring down the back of the podium, and with a decent bit of pace here as well for the Ace Moto Palm Rider. Down the inside of Baited, he can't quite open the door just yet. Very, very tough section of the track to pass there leading into this triple. You've got to make sure you maintain good momentum, especially on these 250s, to get up and over there. Through the whoops we go then again. All about maintaining that speed, and it looks like Steiner closes once again a tiny bit more there through the whoops. Pushing Baited out to an outside rut, but he's not going to give up that easily. Steiner there looking to try and find any open door, any sign of an opportunity here for the Ace Moto rider. And the outside here is just testing lines now. Baited's down, and that's the opportunity right there. Steiner slides the bike on through and gets it done into the P3 position up and on the podium. Finn then keeping himself nice and solid for the majority of the race. He's had a tough time at the start, but with 6.5 minutes on the clock, we are now up to P5, just 11 seconds to the lead up, so we'll see if Neil can try and defend that in the long term. Of course, it's going to be a hell of a ride if Finn can close that gap. We're checking my lap times. In fact, we're checking my lap times now, why not? Neil, our race leader's best lap was a 53.7, a 54.9 there on the previous lap. Dan's running a 53.9 best on the previous lap. We've got Steiner there with a 55.2 as his best, and 55.9 there. So a little bit struggling on the pace compared to the likes of Neon, for example. Finn here struggling a little bit with his overall lap pace as well. We've got a 54.8 best and a 55.3 there, so he's a little bit faster than Steiner, but he's still struggling here tonight for the consistency and the race pace. There was a lot of traffic up ahead of him still. Reaperdoc though has made a hell of a recovery after P3 at the start, down to basically the back of the field. He's all the way back up now once again into the P8 position there on the RD Honda, so a fantastic time indeed for himself. And he's going to be wanting to try and improve that a little bit more. Comes to P9 then after the timing gate. You see Lipo just up in front though. Liposec is for position. That'll be the P8 spot if he can get it. Dark Horse running a 55.0 as his best lap. So not too bad considering the position in the field at all. Man with temporary deafness. He's having a nice time though. Oh no. Yeah, that was a tough time there through the whoops. You kind of saw him go a little bit nose heavy in the first three. And that was just, that pretty much wrote the death sentence there, unfortunately. Logan on the gas on the outside there, trying to close his way into Doc. Can't quite get it done though. Doc will slide his way to the inside, defending both tight lines. Yeah, we've been informed that Doc's playing without audio. The man with temporary deafness here tonight. For now though, we have the battle for the lead. Neon versus Dan. JP Designs KTM then has lost a considerable amount of time here to the P2 KTM. Down there closing in rather quickly over the course of the last lap or so. Presumably Neon must have had a bit of an incident. Dan though has a look at an open door here soon. Yeah, apparently not. Apparently not. The stream may well get his audio, but if he's got like Bluetooth headphones, for example, and they cut out because they died on battery or the cable just got damaged or whatever else, you know, then he may not be able to hear the game, even if his stream can. For now, though, Neon is keeping it nice and smooth, keeping a very, very solid run through the pack here. A good recovery then. We'll see if he did get a tough lap there. Looks like not particularly. Running a pretty decent pace in the grand scheme of things, which also means that Dan has been putting in a hell of a performance over the last couple of laps to close that gap back down to the 1.5 seconds that it is. He's on limit 100% of the time anyway. Hell yeah, just keep that right finger mashed down and he'll be having a good time. He's up to P7, look. Oh no, he's not. He's had a tough time there. Him and Baited. Baited was all the way up there on the podium. What has happened there to Baited? Is not an ideal situation at all there for the privateer KTM rider. Not ideal at all. Steiner versus Finn. That seems to be a bit of a battle developing here. And the battle for P3, the podium then between these two. I said Finn will be making his way up towards the front three soon. And he's closing up that gap to the leader ever more now. It was 11 seconds when he was down in P5. It's now just 6 as we come across the start and finish line. Steiner keeping a really nice bit of defensive work here for the Ace Moto team, so he's going to be hoping to try and continue to do that. Neon and Dan crash and die. Steiner then takes his way through into the racing lead once again here tonight in Foxborough. It has been nothing but mayhem and drama so far, and I'm sure we've still got another 2.5 minutes of that, plus a whole 450 race packed with it. It's going to be interesting indeed. Is Doug the weird guy from YouTube? He very much is, he very much is. Dan on the inside of Neon gets the position done. Finn is now still fighting out for the P3 position, gets it done down the inside of Neon there. It looks like they're having a great battle just behind. Side by side then for the JP Designs KTM and the TSCZ Husqvarna, making it work though for Finn. Scrubbing his way over the jumps, adjusting his line through the rhythm section there. Gets his way past both Neon and Dan down at that main straight. Very nice stuff indeed there for the TSCZ Husqvarna rider. He's going to be happy with that. All the way up to P2 now on the track with just 2.5 seconds to the new racing leader. Finn could be sitting very, very pretty this evening. And a little look at lap times once again here. Steiner, of course, running a 55.1 as his best lap. And Finn a 54.3, so he's got the pace if he needs it. It's going to be down to mostly consistency between these guys. Of course, Finn very, very good at picking out that fast, consistent line. Whether he can do the same tonight is a different story. We'll see if he can pull it out of the bag here towards the closing stages of the race. For now, though, there's a lot of lap down traffic in front, and Steiner's finding his way through the blue lap bikes. Nice centre scrub there over the triple, keeping his way nice and steady there. One at the Ace Moto KTM. Unfortunately, a collision there between himself and the Vertex KTM. The blue flag bike getting in the way of the racing leader. Certainly not ideal at all. Steiner, though, still holding the position here as we go with a minute left on the clock. Approximately 3 laps remaining in the race. Finn down the outside, and that's going to be for P1 then on the TSCZ Husqvarna. Steiner closing back in though immediately, looking to try and defend and get back up into that top spot. But it's going to be a hell of a ride here in order to be able to pull that off. Roughly 3-4 bike lengths between these two riders here at the moment. It is still very, very close stuff in the closing stages of the 250 main event. Cam says, let's go Steiner. Let's see if he can pull it out of the bag here. Finn, of course, starting to open that gap up just a little bit now. It's finally got into the groove. Looks like he's closing onto the back of the Oblivion TM there. Jay Talon allows him on through under the blue flag. Cloud around the outside. Oh, disaster there for the Normsco rider. That is not what we wanted to be seeing. Very, very unfortunate situation there for Cloud. Finn, though, still leading the moto. 3 seconds now to gap between himself and Steiner. It doesn't quite look that much. I'm 100% sure if Steiner has a cheeky 1 second penalty or if my eyes just deceive me. But just a couple of laps remaining. Hagrid goes over the bars on the Suzuki there, after a slight bit of contact with the two leading bikes. Steiner's trying to make something work here. Finn, though, of course, scrambling away on the defence here at the moment, trying to open that gap up as much as humanly possible. Roughly a lap and a half remains here in Foxborough for the 250 main. And as it stands, Finn should get it, barring any major incidents. Steiner, though, looking like he is really putting in some work there on the Ace Moto KTM. Reap it up just there. Might be a lap down, but he's still P11. Still a very nice race indeed for himself. A couple of tough moments, of course. Obviously, the no audio handicap, not super ideal. Over the line. Well, over the line. Over the triple comes Steiner. A little bit of a time loss there, though, by the looks of things. And it looks like Finn should be able to walk away with this, provided he doesn't have any major incidents with any blue flag bikes, or just himself. Pavoso sometimes likes to catch riders out just in those last few moments, of course. Keeping it moving as we come around this last section of the track, through the rhythm for the final time and into the last corner to come across the line for P1 here tonight in Foxborough for round 13 of the ARL SX EU Championship. Steiner then will take P2, and Dan is going to come home to secure P3, I believe. Barring anything that's gone wrong here, we'll just have a quick look in front of him. It looks like everyone else lapped down, unfortunately. So FPJ, Talon, and Hagrid still putting in a pretty decent race there. Always nice to get into the main events. Dan then will secure the P3's position, and Fear Murder will take whatever position he's in. We've got Lupasek then coming across for P4 and Neon for P5. Unfortunately, he's had a bit of a last-minute disaster there on the exit of the final turn. A little bit of a plant into the face and jump there as well. Valentin then will take P6 and Chapstick for P7 presumably. Let's go Steiner, says Cam, all the way up in the P2 spot. That's where he wants to be. Nearly had the win though in the bag, nearly had it. Chapstick then across the line, P7 and Logan for P8. Baited for P9, and Freitas on the Tryhard KTM finished up P10. But the top three, Finn, Steiner and Dan. Let's have a little look at the lap times. A 53.7 there from Neon was the fastest on the field. Then we had Dan with a 53.9 and Finn with a 54.2. So unusually for Finn, a little bit off the pace here tonight from the top of the field. Of course, Neon's a very strong rider, of course, in Supercross throughout the most of the season. Reaperdog then holds on at P4 in terms of the fastest lap with a 55.0. For now, though, can we see everything? Can we hear me? Yes, we can. We're looking good. We're on the gates here for the 450 final event here this evening. On the gates. Who's it going to be into the whole shot? Down they go, and away we are. Looks like a good start there for CJ on the outside. Unfortunately, a bit of a wheelie cost him some time. We've got, who is it going to be? It's going to be Hakon taking the whole shot here tonight on the Ace Moto KTM. A fantastic start then to his moto. We've got Del Pickle in the P2 position. Lynn's not too far back. It looks like Ken's actually on the Ace Moto KTM, holding on for the P3 position there. We've got Dorian holding in nicely. Ken's taking P2. Lynn's having a decent start across the board. And a little flick on through the field. Who have we got here? Tyler J off to a rough start there for a lot of backlap traffic. It's all the way towards the back of the pack. So hopefully we'll see him do a little bit of a comeback. And for now, though, at least we have Hakon in the racing lead as we come through the whoops for the first time here tonight for the 450 crowd. CJ having a very questionable line. I'm like 90% sure you're not allowed to just go around the whoops, but not to worry. I'm sure that'll get looked at. An unfortunate crash there for Jez. That's going to cost him a lot of time. Anyways, back onto the TV cams we go, back with Hakon at the front of the field. A 2-second gap then between himself and Dill Pickle. That's, of course, the P2 bike here on the MXBMR KTM. Lynn's holding on for the P3 podium spot then on the FXR G Fuel Husqvarna. We've got Pump just behind there on the Prestige KTM. Trying to close in again and get himself back up into those podium positions. Here he comes. Can he get it done? Yes, he can around the outside of Lynn's. Locks it down as he comes up and over that finish line. Hunter Lawrence line. An interesting line for sure. Pump there around the outside, Lynn's to the inside. It's going to be Lynn's back up into the P3 position then once again as we come into the next 18 minutes of the race. Of course, slightly longer in the 450 races. Allowing the track to erode just a little bit longer. And of course, it will erode just a little bit harder anyway due to the nature of the bikes. Yes, indeed, we should be seeing a decent amount of chop here towards the end of the night. For now, though, Hakon leads with a phenomenal 1.8 second gap there between himself and Dill Pickle. Dill Pickle's certainly not letting him run away that easily, though. Here is a couple of KTMs, just a few. I'm always appreciative of those that don't ride them, just for the sake of variety. Dill Pickle then losing just a little bit more time to Hakon over the last lap. We know that Hakon's incredibly strong and comfortable in the Supercross events. Ponte holding on just ahead of Lynn's, gets his way back up into the P3 position. Decent battle developing here between these two riders then. Very smooth for both the FXR bike and the Prestige bike. Lynn's having a slight mistake there. Cost himself a fraction of a second and Pump will get the position done as a result. Holding on then into the P3 position. Lynn's trying to fight back down the inside. Can't quite get him to show a front wheel just yet. See if we can get another opportunity a little later on the moto. Still, of course, 17 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time to get in front of the opponents. Try and keep that pressure applied and make them crack. And the position is pretty much wrapped up and gifted to you. Of course, it's not always that simple. As Lynn's here is finding out very, very quickly. Sometimes Pump just won't let go. And that Prestige KTM is really getting some defensive ride. And Lynn's back down the inside here. Looks like he's much stronger in that particular section, just grabbing the inside rut and still making the triple nice. Through the whoop, so oh no, the Prestige KTM has a big crash there. And unfortunately does go down. Lynn's then stays in the P3 position just ahead of Jake. Jake, of course, on the AJP bike. Very colourful again this week. Looking nice and pretty. Here we go. What do we got? We got Tyler J all the way up to P5 already here in the moto. Of course, we saw him way down around the P18-ish position very, very early on in the race during that first lap. So, of course, to make his way up through in the first 4 minutes to the top 5 is fantastic stuff by anyone's standards. Jake then really has some serious pressure onto the back of him now as the Husqvarna tries to find his way through. It's not a Husqvarna, I remember now, it's a KTM. It's painted to make me forget. God damn you. See, that's what you get crashing out. That's called karma right there. Make me confused. Anyways, oh no, a bit of a sketchy rejoin there as Cam takes a slight sideways shunt there from the Red Blade KTM. For now though, Ekholm defending nicely. Still has a 4.8 second gap between himself and Dill now. Dill down just a little bit. And just trying to keep himself steady here. It's a tough ride though. Just putting in the good consistent lines. Casio loses a little bit of time there, but thankfully recovers nicely just alongside Dorian. Dorian, though, should get the move down the inside. In fact, Tyler J comes out of nowhere, slips between the two of them. Beautiful move then from Tyler J. And up through into, where are we? P5 once again, I believe. P6 there, according to the timing gates, but Dorian appears to be behind. So potentially Tyler J suffering with at least a 1 second penalty then. That could be very, very detrimental to his race in the long term. Of course, still 14 minutes to go. Plenty of time for other riders to pick up penalties, but they're going to try and avoid that to the best of their ability. Latuna here, just making sure it gets out of the way of Hakon. A nice safe crash stop there. Lynn's keeping nice on the pace here. Currently holding on for the P3 position. A 9 second gap now to the leader though. He's definitely losing Hakon just a little bit. Got to start closing that gap up once again if he wants to do some stuff. And there you can see a couple of tenths off there in the time, so I'm sure we'll see him start working that time down a little bit more throughout the rest of the evening. For now though, Tyler J up to P4 on the MXBMR KTM, doing very, very nicely indeed, and he'll look to try and secure the P1 position a little later on towards the end of the evening. Jay's having a wibble wobble there down through the whoops around the outside for the KTM rider who's trying to close that gap up between himself, Linz and Dill Pickle. Very, very tough stuff indeed though. He's got a hefty gap between them, roughly 17 seconds between himself and Linz. Linz of course just 3 seconds now off the back of Dill Pickle. Dill Pickle really not too far up ahead. We've got Alpha there on the MXB motorbike, just unfortunately being lapped here at this point. Back to being nice and smooth, holding on for that P2 position with a 1.7 second gap to Hakon just up in front. Hakon really not too far ahead now on the Ace Moto Palm KTM. Stone Rider just giving way there. Always nice to see the track creator in here racing his own circuits. At the end of the day, that's why these tracks are built so nicely, because he knows how to ride the bike too. Tyler J here, trying to get his way past Alpha. Alpha's not really giving away to the blue flag quite as much as we should be, but it is what it is. Tyler gets through without any major hindrance, so it's not an issue. For now then, Dill Pickle's lost a little bit more time to Hakon. Hakon's really stretched that gap open once again. Have a little look at these lap times. We've got a 51.5 there on his second lap of the race, and 51.7 on the previous. Dill Pickle running a 51.2 best lap and a 53.3 on the previous. That's where the time went. And a 59 on the last lap for Linz. He's really struggling with consistency here tonight, which is not like him at all. Hopefully we can see him start to get back on the track nice and smoothly. That's a very, very unfortunate situation though for the FXR G Fuel rider. Oh, stay on one piece. There we go. Good shit. See if we can get back into the swing of things here shortly. Here leading 1.6 seconds there to Dill Pickle though. He's made another mistake. With 11 seconds on the clock. 11 minutes on the clock. That is not going to be a nice situation at all. Two seconds. He's definitely got the pace. He's usually got the consistency. He's just got to pull it out of the bag and stop letting that pressure get to him. Yoda there just behind. We've got Callum of course too. Dill Pickle here currently the P2 bike, and it looks like, oh, Yoko and Ken's had a bit of a moment there. Unfortunate Stone Rider trying to make his way through. I think these guys are actually for position here at this point in the circuit. Stone Rider making his way through. Unfortunately, getting a bit of a positional loss there once again to Yoko and Genza, making their way through into P15 and 16 then as a result. Hakon now with a 10-second lead to Dill Pickle. Looks like he got a really nice lap in there with a 52.2, so a reasonably paced one. 51 is going to become a pretty slow one, I think. Yeah, 105 for Dill Pickle. Oh my days. That is a very, very disastrous lap there to have been caught up in the blue flag traffic. Lappers can change everything at the end of the day. So that one's staying nice and high to stay out the way of Dill Pickle, which is nice to see. We do appreciate the lappers that do respect the blue flags at the end of the day. Dill Pickle's keeping himself nice and smooth. Anyways, up here we have the fight between Tyler J and Linz. This is the fight for P3? Yeah, Jake's behind him. This is the fight for P3. Between the Husqvarna here of Linz and the KTM in front of Tyler J. Oh, unfortunately Linz does go down. Jake gets back into the battle then as a result. Hopefully he gets back into the swing of things there for the FXR rider. Stoney just up in front here. It's going to be giving way to these guys here shortly. Very difficult series of events then here this evening. Ooh, Jakey Jake, what is going on there? Linz closing in once again. Can he secure the P4 position? Doesn't look like it. That sound section is really messing with him here tonight. Hakon though still leads a 16.8 second gap, sorry I stand corrected. Ridiculous gap there for the racing leader by anyone's standards. That is absolutely phenomenal work here from the Ace Moto rider so far. Let's see if he can keep it up. There's still another 8.5 minutes on the clock, so plenty of time for fatigue to set in, plenty of time to let the nerves get to him. Of course we know Hakon's a relatively experienced rider here in the RXB community, so he's not one to shy away from the pressure usually. Let's see if he can keep it nice and solid for the rest of the race. He's not having a good time right now. Yeah, he's having a really tough last couple of laps there, Fresh. A really tough last couple of laps. But like I say, it is not just a speed test, it's also an endurance test. It is a reasonably long time. 20 minutes at full pressure. I mean, you try going 20 minutes at full whack, and you're going to be crashing just as many times, I'm sure. Hakon, oh my days, having a bit of a moment there as he just takes a little bit too much speed through the whoops with a slightly wonky angle. Oh dear, Poposo seems to have punished him doubly there. And Jez gets by, Hawkey gets by, Marshall nearly gets by. I'm talking about not having a good time. Look at Ken's. Yeah, Ken's having a tough day, man. He's having a tough day. Leave him alone. Hakon here though has lost a lot of time to Dill Pickle. I don't think it's dramatic enough to change the face of the race just yet, but any more major crashes like that could cost a lot. Tyler J then keeping nice and solid on the number 18 red plate KTM. Can he get his way up through the field? That's the real question. He's on the podium. He needs to close the leader. Well, I mean, doesn't need to per se, but needs to close the leader. A 15-second gap now between the two of them. It's going to be a tough fight here for the next 6.5 minutes of his life. Have a hydrate, good idea. Have a little look at Dorian and Linz, who are having a battle now in the fight for P6. Linz definitely struggling a little bit for the consistency here this evening. I'm sure we'll see him start to pick up towards the end of the moto though, hopefully. We usually do, usually stronger towards the end of the night. Oh, what is going on here for Dorian? If he'd have landed that, I would have lost my shit. But here we are, he's having a nice time. He Unfortunately, it does crash through the whoops there, but doesn't lose too much time in the grand scheme of things. Does manage to crash all the way through to the corner. So that's ideal at least. Linzo managing to get through nice and cleanly now as a result. Doesn't have to worry too much about the cheeky position behind. You've got a fight for P2 developing here very shortly as well between Dill Pickle and Tyler J. Tyler J then having closed up with the P2 bike after Dill's previous mistakes. TJ then going to be very, very happy to be seeing the back of a positional bike for the first time in a little while. Around the corner we go. Lapis and Noel being the 250 main. They did not. It happens sometimes though, Steiner, unfortunately. It does happen. Tang fine sending himself off the side of the course there in a vague attempt to not interrupt the racing leader's race. An interesting tactic, I must say. But there you go. 5 minutes then on the clock as we come into the next lap here with Tyler J. He's now P2 with 7.5 seconds to the racing leader Hakon here on the number 24 Ace Moto KTM. Can Hakon keep that gap open for the next 5 minutes? That's the real question here. What's your bets, chaps? Who's it going to be for the racing win? Hakon running a 51.5 best lap and a 58 on his previous. Tyler J running a 51.8 and a 53.9 on his previous. Relatively consistent there between 54s and 55s. A couple of 53s dotted in there. And Hakon's times as well. He's been struggling a lot over the last couple of laps here. Hopefully he can get back into the rhythm. Hopefully he can get back up into the rhythm. When he's quick, he's very quick. But when he struggles a lot. Hakon then keeping it nice and smooth. Just a few minutes remaining here then in the 450 main event. Let's have a little check on with the field, shall we? Tanjay, of course, still holding the P2 position with 7.8 seconds. We've got a healthy gap down to Dill Pickle now. Roughly 4 seconds behind the P2 bike. Jake there a little bit further back, still holding on for the P4 position, just ahead of Cam. Cam closing in though. Currently P5 with Tang not too far behind. I believe Tang is unfortunately a lap down. He's having a tough race so far tonight, but I'm sure he'll get back into the rhythm of things here in the very, very near future. Then keeping himself around as stable as he can. It's a very tough situation to find himself in. Linz, of course, has an even tougher situation still. Back down to P6. Climbed his way up reasonably well through since the incident. But a couple of minor errors have led to a lot of hassle here tonight for Linz. Definitely going to be hoping for better next week, I'm sure. Now though, he keeps himself nice and stable, holding in for the P6 position. Jake here then, trying to make something work. It's a little bit of a wobble there as we come up and over the wheel tap triple. Through the whoops we go. Scrub over the hill there as we try and keep the position defended. I think it's the blue flag bike behind us. Nice Cam. This is Cam in the fight for P4. Cam making his way up through the field quite nicely here then. He's starting to get some real pace here towards the closing stages of the race. We'll have a little look at his lap time, shall we? Jake with a 53.3 and Cam with a 52.0. Very nice pace then. Hoping to try and close in a little bit more still. See if he can continue to keep it open. For now, the gap to watch is the one up here at the front. We've got Hakon versus Tyler J. The battle of the leaders. 5 seconds is the gap here now. Down rather a big amount. 4.6. We'll see that continue to close here as Tyler gets more and more of a sniff of the racing victory here. You can almost smell the win. Just needs Hakon to make a mistake and just needs to keep himself nice and tidy. Hakon, of course, going to be putting in his absolute best here over the next few laps, I'm sure, to try and keep Tyler J at bay and, of course, defend the racing win here tonight in Foxborough. Having a bit of a tough time as he gets a lap. Decent race overall, though. These leaders are of a different pedigree. All the way up to P8 they've lapped now. Tyler J putting in the work, trying to close in. We've got Aiden just up in front. He's going to try and use him for a little... I was going to say a little draft down the straight, but it's not really a thing in Supercross. Use him as a little marker though, I guess. Up is there. Oh no, Tyler J's had a bit of a crash. That's going to cost him some time. Definitely not an ideal situation for the P2 bike. Hakon though going to be extremely grateful to hear that as we come into the final couple of laps here in Foxborough. Hakon leads with a 5.7 second gap. Nearly said a 57 second gap. That would have been way more than I was meant to say. Tang having a tough time there with Hakon through the whoops. Getting himself nice and steady. We've got Dill Pickle and Cam having a fight. This is a fight for P3. The podium position then between the two MXBMR riders. Cam defending nicely from his teammate up there on the podium. Going to try and continue to do so throughout the rest of the race, and that's going to help Dill Pickle crashing off in the background. If Cam had mirrors, he'd be looking at him and giggling. Jake then going to be holding on for, I believe, the P4 position ahead of Dill Pickle. Yeah, it looks like it. Anyways, we are on our final lap. Hakon is taking us through it, and the Ace Moto rider has a 2.4 second gap now to Tyler J. It is time to make 0 mistakes as we come close to the end of the 450 race. Don't forget, we still have the HSM amateur race to come up immediately afterwards. Heat, LCQs, and the main events right after this event. But for now, Hakon goes over the bars. Where is Tyler J? He's through. Is he through? He's through for the racing lead. Has he got a penalty? That's going to be the major thing that decides this, I think. Unless Hakon can get that gap closed right back down. But there's just a straight and a half to do it as Tyler J comes into the final rhythm section here tonight. Can he secure the place? Is his penalty gonna take him out of the position? We shall see as we come across the line for P1 here tonight. Hakon then will secure P2, and it looks like he's going to hold on to it. Tyler J then takes the win here tonight in Foxborough. Cam will secure P3 on the MXBMR KTM, not too far behind. Couple of lap down bikes just up in front as well here. But yeah, disaster for Hakon then in the final lap, going down off the outside of the berm there. Certainly not an ideal situation by anyone's account. Still taking P2 though, so a very, very respectable race here tonight for Hakon, and of course for Tyler J and Cam getting up on the podium too. Lynn's had a tough end to his night here tonight. Just a lot of traffic, a lot of elbow rubbing, and like I say, just overall not quite what he was looking for this evening. Across the line though for P6. Larry Merritt then will take P7. So nice performance from himself, and Marshall took P13 there. And we also have Latuna taking home P20 on the AEO Yami. Just a little bit further back than he was hoping for here tonight. Tough race though for Tuna. Anyways, let's have a little look at these lap times for the 450 crowd. It's a 51.298 there from Dill Pickle, the fastest bike on the field. Hakon and Linz put in an identical preferential lap there. Hakon, of course, getting it slightly earlier on the second lap of the race rather than Linz's 6th. 51.519 though for both riders in a joint second. But Tyler J then in the fourth place in terms of fastest lap with a 51.806. So certainly not bad at all. And you can see the top 5 riders there within 0.1 of a second. Well, within 0.8 of a second. Having a very nice